What's up, everyone? Welcome to WFSO Reaction. Um, I was just looking at, like what was going on with the Milwaukee Bucks. If there was any news on their draft or whatever. But this person, or JWAC or JWAC or whatever you want to call it, I am going to subscribe to his channel because we all should be helping each other. That's just my opinion on that. But anyways, he did a mock draft, and I guess it's gonna be adding like trades involved. So I guess this is the final one before the NBA draft starts this Thursday. So yeah, pretty I would say it got me intrigued and interested. I was gonna watch the whole video, but I was like, let me just rewind it a little bit because I only watched like about like 10 seconds of it. I was like, wait, let me rewind. And I didn't know Fanspo does that. So I'm not gonna mess with that a little bit before I go to bed and just have fun with it. Or I might just try it tomorrow. So it just depends on when you're watching this or whatever. So some of y'all probably gonna end up seeing this like early Monday, or so I might as well just say today. Just to make it sound right. But he did done it Sunday, was probably for some of y'all probably will be yesterday on June 19th. But anyways, people out there, happy Father's Day and happy Juneteenth Day. Well, it's kind of cool for it now being a holiday. But anywho, let's without further ado, let's look at the mock draft.
Hey guys, welcome back. Today we are doing my final mock draft. The NBA draft is on Thursday, and this time we're doing it a little differently. There will be trades involved. Like you can see, the Magic have the number 23 pick. They don't have that pick in real life. I will go through the trades that I've proposed. This is being recorded on at 12:30 on June 19th. So this isn't going to be entirely accurate. Not all of these trades are going to happen. And some of these players might be traded for other pieces later down the road. This is just what I've come up with. It could be very different or it could be very similar. But let's take a look and let's go ahead and get right into it. Make sure to leave a like on this video, subscribe if you are new, hit the notification bell so you don't miss out on a video. We got a ton of stuff coming this week you don't want to miss. But let's go ahead and get into it with the Orlando Magic at number 1. It's looking like it is going to be Jabari Smith, the forward out of Auburn, and I agree with this pick. I think he's the best player in the draft. I think his shooting ability is off the charts. He's got switchability defensively, though, good length and size, athleticism, and I really like what he can bring to a team, and I think he could be a franchise guy. So I think that's going to be the pick here for.
And at times, he's just hiding all that stuff. He could probably play center.
Thunder. This pick, I think, is going to be Chet Holmgren. I think he's got the highest ceiling of anyone in this class, but he's also got the highest bust potential. I think he's the exact guy that OKC is looking for. They were trying to get a very similar player last year in Evan Mobley. They were unsuccessful. This year, taking a guy like Chet Holmgren, it's a great fit. I think Chet needs to go to a spot where he's got other guards that can get him the ball. And I think OKC has those guys. I think it's a perfect fit for all sides. I would love to see this. So Chet Holmgren, number 2 for the OKC Thunder. And then at number 3, it's Paulo Banchero. This one, the top 3, I think, are pretty solid. I think that's going to be the top 3 pretty easily.
Who can play power forward and center.
Paulo Banchero, I've got a video coming out on him tomorrow. I think he's got a lot of potential. I think he can improve his shooting ability a little bit more. And I think he thrives off the dribble, but I think him and Jalen Green together, their play styles compare and contrast with each other so well. And I think that it would be a match made in heaven for Paulo Banchero to go to Duke. So that's going to be the pick that I have there. Next up, we got the Indiana Pacers. actually. I have a trade here. In this trade, Indiana gives up Chris Duarte, the number 6 overall pick, and the 2023 Cleveland Cavaliers first rounder that they got from the Terrace Levert trade. In
Okay,
exchange
so
for the
they
number 4
traded.
pick.
Okay.
Why would they do this? Because they want to trade up and take a prospect that is not going to be there at number 6. I don't think
But
Chris
remember,
Duarte
this might
really
not
showed
happen.
like star potential, and there's a guy that I think they would love to have that has said he would like to play for the Pacers. It's his hometown team. Um, I think they do that. Sacramento does it to acquire more draft capital, and they could trade back and take a guy who, in my opinion, is a better fit for their team anyways, and they get an extra first rounder. Plus Chris Duarte, who I think is a solid role player, could be a good shooter on a team that is trying to win now. They've got a winning coach. They made the trade for Sabonis. I think this is a win-win deal for all sides. And Indiana's trading up to take Jay Ivey. Him and Tyrese Halliburton together would be absolutely fantastic. I think Ivy
I
plays
don't know. It seems
better
like
as a 2 guard.
Pacers got like too many
Halliburton's
point
getting him.
guards.
Jaden Ivey reminds me of John Morant with a jump shot. His athleticism, I think he's a good defender. I think this is a really great fit for the Pacers. And to take a guy like this, they didn't give up too much. They traded up 2 spots and they gave up a future first and Duarte. I love this. I think this is a great trade for the Pacers, and I think the Kings are going to get a good deal out of this too. Pistons stick at 5 now. This is going to be a little bit different than what I've done, but I think this is going to be the guy that they take. It's Benedict Mathurin. I think Benedict Mathurin is going to surprise some people, sneak into this top 5. I think he can work a little bit on the defensive end. He tends to fight a little bit. Incredibly athletic, good shooter, really good mid-range player. I think a small forward is a position that they're looking for. Now, I do have a Jeremy Grant trade. That's a spoiler. I won't say for what, but I think Mathurin and Cade, and I think they've got some really nice stuff that they could build on here. I think Mathurin, he's 6'6". You could play him at the 2 guard even. I think he's got 2-3 potential. Reminds me of Jaylen Brown quite a bit. I think this is a perfect pick for the Pistons that I think they would be thrilled to have. At number 6, we've got the Sacramento Kings from the trade I talked about earlier with the Pacers, and they're going to select Keegan Murray. I think he's the best fit for this team. I think they need a power forward who can stretch the floor. Sabonis is going to play the 5. Keegan Murray at the 6, or at the 4.
You think Sabonis is going to take center?
He's the 6th pick.
I don't know.
Keegan Murray, I think, fits the team so well what they want to do. Stretch the floor.
I think most likely, Sacramento will probably go with that player available.
Keegan Murray will stretch the floor out for them. I would take him at 4 if this trade doesn't even happen. I think he's the perfect fit for their team. To play the 4, Barnes could play the 3, and then you got Davion Mitchell and De'Aaron Fox to play that 1 and 2. So I love this pick for the Kings, and I think this is a great trade for them to acquire a future pick as well, and Duarte, as I mentioned. So number 7, we have another trade. The Trailblazers trade their pick to the Oklahoma City Thunder. Portland received New York, the number 12 pick, the Wizards pick, and then they received a second rounder as well. Very interesting. There's a few guys that they could go with. I can see them taking AJ Griffin here. A small forward is a big need, especially after you lose Dort. They could go Johnny Davis. They could go Ousmane Dieng. I don't think they would trade up for him, though. Ultimately, I am going to take Shaedon Sharpe here. I think he's the best player on the board for the Thunder. I know he's listed as a shooting guard. I think he could play small forward on this team. Good shooter, really athletic. He reminds me of a mixture of Bradley Beal and Anthony Davis. I think he might fall a little further than this, though, to
I don't
be
know.
honest.
I don't think the Thunder would do that.
Testing well.
They already got like a shooting guard. But like you said, he can play the small forward. So
his workout.
I guess I can see both sides, but
so I think this could be a trade
I don't know.
up for OKC. It might not be for Sharpe, but I think Sharpe is who I'm going to have them taken this month. And we'll see what happens there. At number 8, we got the New Orleans Pelicans. Very interesting squad as well. I've had
I don't know what they need
for a while. I like that pick. Dyson Daniels, I was thinking of taking for quite a while.
I do
but
not know what they
I don't
need.
think he's going to be their guy, mainly because I think Tyler Lewis is going to get healthy. I think they still want to see what they have there. Alvarado, we saw the minutes he was giving them. And Devontae Graham is still a solid player. CJ McCollum could play the one. Zion could play the one in some cases. So I'm not going to do that. I think shooting guard is more of a need.
Yeah, he's right. Shooting guard is more of a
I
need.
also think he fits what they want to do. They're a mid-range team. They don't love to shoot threes a ton. I think Johnny Davis has three-point abilities in the future, but his defense, I think, is what is going to make him the number 8 pick. I think a defensive lineup where you could run like Alvarado, Johnny Davis, Herb Jones, Zion, and small ball 5, and Ingram, like that's a really good defensive team. Johnny Davis is one of the best perimeter defenders in this draft. I think he could really improve on his shooting, obviously, but I love this pick for them. And yeah, moving on to number 9, we do have the Atlanta Hawks. Now, this is a 3-team trade that I have. I've got the Atlanta Hawks receiving the number 9 overall pick, Jeremy Grant and Doug McDermott. Detroit Pistons received the number 16 pick and Kevin Herter, and the Spurs received John Collins. Let's go through each of these 3 teams real quick. The Hawks do this to trade up. They've been looking to trade up. There's a guy that I think is a no-brainer pick for them. Jeremy Grant, I think, is a little bit better than John Collins. He's cheaper as well. And Doug McDermott is just a salary killer, but he could replace Kevin Herter, who they're sending out to Detroit. I think number 16, Kevin Herter, is great value for the Pistons on Jeremy Grant. I don't think they're going to be able to get that number 7 pick. I think Portland is going to be a little bit smarter than that. The Spurs, they're a team that's got 3 first-round picks. I think they would be fine letting go of number 9, Doug McDermott, for John Collins, who's a position that they really need. They could use a power forward / small ball center. I think that works for all 3 teams. Salaries match up. I think this is a really good trade for all sides involved. And with the Hawks here at number 9, they basically have traded John Collins for Doug McDermott at number 9. And number 9, this is an easy pick. It's Dyson Daniels. I love this fit for them. Dyson Daniels isn't the greatest shooter in the world. He could easily start at the 2 guard for them and be a hugely impactful player for them because of his defensive ability. I think defensively he is one of the best guards in this draft. He's a great playmaker, would help set up Hunter and Capella. And even Trae Young, I think, would benefit. But I think his defense, he's a good mid-range scorer, not great from the 3-point line. He's got good mechanics. They just don't fall for whatever reason. Love this pick, actually, for the Atlanta Hawks. And I think they would absolutely love this as well. At number 10, we've got the Indiana Pacers back on the clock. They traded They traded Malcolm Brogdon, Goga Batadze, and the number 31 pick.
I thought he was already traded.
In exchange for Contavious Caldwell-Pope, who's
Weird.
expiring, Rui Hachimura, and the number 10 overall pick. Why would Washington do this?
Yeah.
They would do this because they want a veteran point guard. I think Brogdon is the best one on the trade market. I think he fits really well with the Wizards and Bradley Beal. The guy doesn't need the ball in his hands to be impactful. Good defender. Goga Batadze is just to make salaries work. He's a young guy who's still got some potential here. And then the number 31 pick is just an extra pick they can throw. Pacers do this to add another draft pick. And Rui Hachimura, I think Hachimura is still a really valuable piece. I think maybe it's run its course there in Washington. But here we are. Indiana could do a couple of things. I think it's between 2 players. I think small forward is definitely the position to address here. They could go with a guy like Ochai Agbaji, Kari Eason, some not veteran, but
what about
guys who
TJ
stayed in
Warren?
college a little
They're
bit
not
longer.
thinking,
They're a little bit older.
unless they
more
want to back
experienced.
up small
They
forward.
went this route with Chris Duarte last year. They can go Ousmane Dieng, who's a bit of a project, but this team still rebuilding. But I think it's going to be AJ Griffin. I think he is one of the best 3-point shooters in this draft class. Indiana could really use a guy like him. And being set up by Halliburton, Ivy and Griffin, if they were able to come away with those 2 guys in this draft,
I don't know.
would be absolutely fantastic for them. So love this fit. Doesn't need the ball in his hand to be a good catch and shoot 3-point guy for them. So that's the guy I've got here. Then we got the Rockets back on the clock. This is a big trade. So I included this. It's a 3-team trade between the Mavericks trade that already happened. So Dallas receives Christian Wood. The Rockets get Boban, Sterling Brown, Trey Burke, Marquise Chris, Kemba Walker, Nerlens Noel, and the number 11 pick. And then the Knicks received the 17th pick, the 26th pick, and Eric Gordon. The Mavericks side, we know why they would do it. They get the best player in this trade. They lose a draft pick, that's fine. But I think that's a no-brainer. Rockets do this mainly for a salary dump, I would assume. They get Nerlens Noel, who you could either buy out or you could start at the center. I think Nerlens Noel, or even a backup. I think he's good. Kemba could be a good playmaker for them. I think he could maybe get some minutes on this team. And then they use their draft picks to trade up. Everyone else was just role players that I don't think is going to be on the team for too much longer. The Knicks get 2 first-round picks to continue their rebuild, and Eric Gordon, who I like a lot, think he's a good shooter and would help this team quite a bit. So the Rockets make this move to select 2. I think it's Ousmane Dieng. Small forward is a position they really lacked in for the last few years, and
Well, he can also play the power forward
he
too.
could be one of the best players.
Could be a combo
forward. He's got the highest ceiling, one of the highest ceilings. Don't know too much of what.
Like if they work with him.
Yet, haven't seen a ton of him. I think he could work really well with Jalen Green and Kevin Porter Jr., Şengün, and Paolo. Like Ousmane Dieng on that roster would fit so well. So that's going to be the guy I have here. Then we got Portland on the clock from the OKC trade. This is an easy pick, and I think they would be thrilled with this. Let's take Lou Dort, a future first-rounder, and then they can now get their center of the future in Jalen Duren. I think he makes so much sense to this team. They really need a big that can block shots. Nurkic is not that great of a defensive player. And I think Jalen Duren can be that. I think he's also more consistent offensively. Could stretch the floor a little bit more for him. And now if they get Lou Dort and Jalen Duren, maybe that's a little bit more to entice a free agent to come. They still have some bad contracts and different things, but they could work around it. I would love this draft for Portland. Then we got the San Antonio Spurs, who I have trading up again. So they added John Collins earlier. I've got them trading Jakob Poeltl and the number 20 overall pick to Charlotte to select at number 13. I think they would do this to select Mark Williams. He's a young big who I think's got a lot of upside. Kind of the big I think Greg Popovich and the Spurs love to develop those post-present, old-school, traditional bigs. Mark Williams fits that mold perfectly. I think they would rather have Jalen Duren. He was 1 pick earlier. This would be a great draft for them. Jakob Poeltl is a good player. The Hornets get their center that they've been looking for quite a while, and the future later first rounder. So they swap picks and they add Jakob Poeltl. I think this would be a great trade for both teams. Number 14, we got the Cavs. Easy selection. Ochai Agbaji. I've had this pick forever. I think he makes a ton of sense. This Cavs team trying to win now. Ochai Agbaji played 4 years at Kansas. He's a little bit older, but he's got more experience in college.
True.
Would fit Cleveland really well. Small forward being, in my opinion, their biggest need. So, love this pick for them. This is where things get a little interesting here. At number 15, we've got the Charlotte Hornets. And I need to check my notes. Who do I have them taken? Okay. This one's interesting. I could see them going a couple of different directions here. I think backup point guard is probably their biggest need. I know it's going to say Terry Rozier. No, I think he's their starting two. And this one's interesting. Between Jeremy Sohan, Ty Washington, and DJ Liddell, I think I'm going to take here. I think I'm going to take Ty Washington here at 15 for them. I think he's the second best point guard in this draft behind Jaden Ivey.
But can be a combo guard.
Ty Washington could be a really good backup point guard for them. Maybe could run some 2-guard for you in some lineups. I like this fit for him. Good playmaker, good scorer. I think he could fit really well in Charlotte. So that's the pick I'm
Don't know
going
if
to
they'll
have there.
take him though.
Number 16 from the trade earlier I mentioned, Nets sent It sent Jeremy Grant to Atlanta. They added Kevin Herter, so they've now added Benedict Mathurin, Kevin Herter, and now I think adding Jeremy Sohan would be huge. One of the best defensive players, if not the best defensive players in this entire draft class. Detroit would have a really good young core brewing here. Kevin Herter could start right away. I absolutely love this pick for them. I've talked about it. Sohan, I've heard a lot of people compare him to Draymond Green defensively. I think he could have that upside. Not quite the playmaking of Draymond, but his defense is off the charts and super competitive. I love this guy for Detroit. Number 17, this is the pick that the first pick that I had the Knicks trading back to select. I think it's Malachi Branham. I think he's a no-brainer pick for them here. Best guy on the board, fits a need. I think he could play really well off ball. But it's just a good scorer. I think they need some scoring, and Malachi Branham should bring that to the table here. Number 18, another trade. This one's probably the biggest name that I have traded here. I've got the Utah Jazz trading Rudy Gobert to Chicago in exchange for Nikola Vucevic, Kobe White, and the number 18 pick, which would be a fantastic return.
Wow. They were wanting to trade Kobe, right?
Not quite the defensive player, not close to the defensive player of Rudy Gobert. They add a point guard, so I think they should be starting right away, and a pick. We're going to go a bunch of different ways here. I love Nikola Jovic here. I also like Tari Eason. Depends on what they want. I'm going to take Jovic. I think he fits really well. A good playmaking forward for them. I think that's a position that they could really improve on. They don't really have a forward who can create his own shots. And, yeah, love that. So, moving on to number 19. We've got the Minnesota Timberwolves on the clock. And they need a small forward here. I've been wanting to go point guard with this team for quite a while, but small forward is a big need for them. And I'm going to select Tari Eason here. A good mid-range player, good scorer. I like him even defensively. I think he's really good. And they want to improve their defense. Their perimeter defense hasn't been good the last few years. They improved last year, but adding Tari Eason to this
unless they put Anthony Edwards back at
Tari Eason at 19 in Minnesota makes a ton of sense to me. At number 20, we've got the Charlotte Hornets again from the San Antonio Spurs. Big isn't really that big of a need anymore, but I do still think they take a power forward. EJ Liddell makes a ton of sense here. Good three-point score, which starts the floor for them. They can come away with Ty Washington, EJ Liddell, and Jakob Poeltl in this draft. Would be a really fantastic draft for this team. Yeah, I'm a big fan of this pick here. So, moving on to number 21, we've got the Denver Nuggets, who I do think they need a backup point guard. So it depends on what they want to do here. Do they want to go with a longer point guard and Galen Terry, or do they want to go with Kennedy Chandler? I'm taking Kennedy Chandler. I think he's a little bit better, would be a better scorer and playmaker than Galen Terry. I think the scoring of Kennedy Chandler is greater. So I think they just need a spark plug off the bench who can get them some points, to potentially start some games. And Kennedy Chandler, I think, could be that guy for them. So at number 22, we have the Memphis Grizzlies. I've had them taking Jalen Williams forever, and I'm not backing down from that. I think this is too much a perfect fit. One of the best scorers in this draft went to a smaller school, so didn't really get the big name recognition, but averaged 18 points per game last year on 51% shooting. He's been flying up draft boards. I could see him going as high as 11. But I've got him staying here at 22. I think this is a great pick for the Grizzlies. A guy who creates his own shot that's not John Morant off the dribble. I really like this pick for both sides here. At number 23, this is the Orlando Magic. They received Danny Green, the 23rd overall pick, and they've traded Terrence Ross in the number 32 overall pick. Who are they going to pair next to Jabari Smith? It says point guard is a severe need. Don't really see how we've got Markelle Fultz, Cole Anthony, and Jalen Suggs. I think shooting guard is a much bigger need. Gary Harris is a free agent. Thornwell is definitely not your starter. Terrence Ross is traded. RJ Hampton's more of a bench player to me. I think Jaden Hardy would be a great pick for the Orlando Magic. Think he could be a good scorer. Still got a lot of upside. Was highly recruited out of college. Decided to go to the G League, and think he fits what the Magic want to do. He'd be a good scorer for them, and they would have something really nice with Suggs, Hardy, and all of those guys that they got. Wagner, Jabari now. I love that for them. So at number 24, we got the
Here we
Milwaukee
go.
Bucks. I think they want a scorer. That's what they need. A point guard or two guard that can score the ball.
No, no, we don't.
I like Beauchamp quite a bit. Let's see. Not the greatest shooter or scorer. So I don't know. This one's interesting. I think I'm gonna go with Blake Wesley out of Notre Dame here.
No,
Average 15 points.
they will
a
not
game,
pick him.
on 40%.
Even when they do, they're gonna trade him.
I don't know. Just seems
I
like
don't think that's gonna work.
Not saying it is. I like the fit though. He's a guy that can. He's smaller, can play the two guard. I think he would work really well in that Grayson Allen sort of role as a catch and shoot player. So we're gonna go with that.
No,
Yeah, not super familiar with him, but at number 25, we've got the San Antonio Spurs. We have to Mark Williams. They traded for John Collins, and now I'm going to have them select Marjon Beauchamp. Really like this guy. Think he, again, another guy that I think be a scorer down the road. He's got the body. I think he's got the upside to do it. Not saying he's going to, but I think he has the potential to do that. So we're going to go with that pick here. At number 26, the New York Knicks are going to be absolutely thrilled that Jalen Terry is still on the board here. He's not the best scorer in the world, not the best shooter, but he's a playmaking point guard that they desperately need. I think they would be incredibly happy with this. They've been looking for a point guard forever. Jalen Terry could start right away, and I think be effective for them. So that's the guy I'm going to have the Knicks taking at 26. At number 27, we've got Miami. I think they need a forward probably. Add some size. And I'm looking at between two players here.
no, they need a power
I think
forward.
they're going to go with Wendell Moore. I think he's a little bit bigger. I think he's a little bit better shooter, scorer.
No, they would go for a power forward.
But I like the fit here for the Miami Heat, Wendell Moore. So that's the guy I'm going to have them take there. And then at number 28, the NBA champion Golden State Warriors. Would be interested to see what they do here. I personally would take Patrick Baldwin looking at who's on the board here. I could see them going Christian Braun, Trevor Keels even. I am going to select. I'm going to select Christian Coloco. I'm a big fan of this guy. Think he fits a big need. Him next to Wiseman, I think would be really good. Yeah, I think he's going to fit the biggest need. Good play. I think he's got some upside. I love that fit for them. Now, since he wasn't taken to the Warriors, I think Baldwin is going to get selected to the Grizzlies. He didn't play good in college. I know that, but he's still got so much potential and could be a really good player in this league. So I want to give this guy a shot. So Patrick Baldwin, I think, is going to sneak into the first round, and that's going to be the Grizzlies' last pick. And then the Nuggets are on the board here. They took Kennedy Chandler earlier. I could see them going Trevor Keels as this last pick of the first round. 3-and-D guy, I think would fit really well with what they want to do. They need some defensive wings. Trevor Keels could be that guy. And, yeah, I think this would be a fantastic draft for the Nuggets. And that's going to do it, guys. Let me know, which picks do you guys agree with? Which ones do you disagree with? Which trades do you guys agree and disagree with?
I definitely don't agree with the
It's a
24
very
pick.
interesting draft board. But that's going to do it for me in this video. Make sure to hit that like button and subscribe if you are new. Leave a comment. Let me know what you guys think. And I'll see you guys in the next one.
Okay, so he only did like the first round pick, so good enough. But I'm sorry, but I think this guy is like all over the place. like I said, y'all probably heard me at times, like there's some trades that they was making like trades or whatever with, well, the teams, like if the Bucks don't get certain players that they, want, because yeah, I believe they're not gonna go for a guard. They don't need another guard. If they do everything right, sign up for like a backup point guard or get like a combo forward or a backup center, which they need. Yeah, we'll see how it goes. But otherwise, if they don't need the pick, they're gonna trade it. And I think somehow they're gonna try to get themselves in the second round. So we'll see how that goes. But that's just my opinion though. But we'll see how it goes this Thursday. I didn't know you do that on Fanspo, but I'm gonna try to do that myself. Probably, like I said, probably later on today, and probably put it on and shows how that goes. Thanks to our sponsors again, Art from the Heart. Check them out on Facebook. Also, Moving Dudes. Check them out on Facebook as well. And also, give them a call, 414-807-4299. And thank you guys for watching. Like this video, give it a like, and subscribe to the channel. Can't do this without you guys. And hopefully we get more subscribers and we can do more with this channel. So that's what we're hoping and working on. But until the next video, you guys have a good one.